songwriter, we had the opportunity to talk to Emanuel over Zoom video. Emanuel was born and raised in a college town just outside of Toronto, Canada, and he talks to us about how he got into music. He actually tried out for the school choir, and he just liked the red jackets that the kids in choir got to wear. And he tried out and didn't end up actually getting in, but he loved music so much that he continued to try and work for it and work towards his goal of being an artist. While working at a hospital, coworkers really encouraged him to pursue music. And just before the pandemic hit, he had a bunch of songs written and recorded. He puts one out called Need You, and it goes wild on Spotify, now has over 6 million plays. He released his first EP, Sessions 1, Disillusion. He released that on Juneteenth 2020. Followed that EP up with Session 2, which he released in December. And he has his debut full-length record out now called Alt Therapy. So he talks to us all about that. And you can watch the interview with Emanuel and myself on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. It would be amazing if you subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at BringingBackPod.
We'd appreciate your support if you follow and subscribe to our podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts.
We're bringing it backwards with Emanuel. Cool, man. Well, this podcast is all about you and your journey in music and how you got to where you are now. And we'll talk about the new record you have coming out in a couple of days now, right? On Wednesday?
Yeah, on Wednesday.
Very exciting.
Super exciting.
So originally from Toronto, Canada?
No, I'm from London, Ontario, Canada, 2 hours west.
Oh, okay. So talk to me about that. Born and raised there?
Yeah, born and raised. It's a small little town, 2 hours west of Toronto. It's a university town.
Okay.
Yeah, the population is mostly, I feel like the population, when I grew up, I seen a lot of boomers. So I feel like that's most of the population. There's a lot of new immigrants.
Right.
It was yeah.
A lot of boomers. That's interesting for a college town.
Yeah, it's an interesting mix for sure. A lot of noise complaints.
A lot of noise complaining. Was it interesting growing up in a college town? I mean, that must be kind of fascinating, I would think.
It's definitely kind of interesting when you grow up in sort of a more like conservative, like with like the town is the city is run a little bit more conservative because of the boomers, but then you have the college there as well. It's an interesting contrast for sure.
Were your parents like professors, or that you just happened to live in a college town?
Oh no, my parents are not professors. I grew up. I was raised by my mom. She works. She works for the government.
Oh, cool, rad. Well, how did you get into music?
Man, I've always loved music. Music has always been in the home. Music has always been a guiding light. I've always felt like it's been the arm that God uses to bless me the most and connect with me the most in my experience. So I fell in love with music in that regard, and I found that I had a talent for music. I found that I had the ability to draw and stir emotion with the music that I made through long trial and error. And it was something that I really wanted to pursue. And it was something that I really wanted to see through. And I'm still on that journey.
And what was the first instrument you learned? Were you putting like piano lessons early on, or?
I was actually putting piano lessons early on, but I don't currently play any instruments. That didn't work out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just vocals and songwriting?
Just vocals and songwriting is that's what I bring to the table.
Sure. When did you realize you could sing? Were you in choir or chorus?
There was a choir in elementary school. They had these red coats. They had these cool red coats. My older sister was in that choir. Okay. I actually tried out for the choir and I didn't make it. So I wasn't in any choirs, but
well, you showed them, right?
I used to have dreams. I used to have vivid dreams of performing in front of the school, trying to be a redcoat. But I never made it. But I practiced. I can really attribute a lot of my singing to just like sitting in front of a computer watching YouTube videos for hours.
Really?
Yeah.
What were you watching? Like who was inspiring you at the time?
Wow. I feel like when I was really young, I would watch vocally. I would try to aspire to sound like Chris Brown a lot.
Okay.
Listen to a lot of Chris Brown videos. I would watch a lot of Boys to Men videos. Those vocals, the vocals from those '90s R&B, from some of those '90s R&B groups are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. New Edition.
Sure.
Stuff like
That's
that.
cool. Right on. When did you start like pursuing music, like as a passion career?
I really started to pursue it. I think and really really take it seriously when I was around 20, when I was around 19, between the ages of 19 and 21 was really like the transformative time in my life when I started to really take music seriously.
And was there like a moment that you started taking it seriously? Like, did something happen where you're like, oh, I should really start pursuing this? Or
I was working at the hospital, and I felt like I was really fulfilled in that work in a lot of ways. I was really happy serving people in my position at the hospital. I was a cleaner. I was really happy serving people in that regard. I really liked the staff that I worked with. The pay was good. It made me feel like I was really a part of my community in a good way. I was really serving my community in a good way. But there was like a deep yearning that I had to really pursue music. I couldn't get it off my mind. I was in love with the idea. I daydreamed about the idea. It was always on my tongue. It was always on my lips. And I think it presented itself in a way that I couldn't ignore. And I couldn't ignore the passion that I had for it. And I couldn't ignore it down to the people that I worked with and the people that the patients that I would show the music to at the hospital, telling me to pursue it. And like the staff at the hospital giving me, like letting me leave early from work to go do shows. And like really, like it was really a beautiful transition.
Mm-hmm. When did you start playing shows? Were you always writing songs? Like when you did those earlier shows, is it all original music?
The first time I ever was on stage was really like at like a youth conference, like a Christian youth conference.
Oh, cool.
And I think the first time I did a show, like a paid gig, was around the time frame that I was telling you about. Like while I was working at the hospital, we procured a couple of positions to perform at shows in Toronto, small shows at like dive bars, and even down to, and we started doing them frequently, and we got to the point where we were able to headline at the Drake Underground, which is a pretty iconic spot in Toronto, which we're really proud of.
Was that all done or with original songs?
Yes.
Wow. What was the first song you wrote and like showed to somebody? Was that pretty, I can imagine, vulnerable?
Yeah, most definitely. I was always shy with sharing my music. I think the first song that I wrote, recorded, and shared was a song called "Fantasy," and we would perform that. That was part of the set that we would perform. In the time I'm telling you about when we were performing.
And when did you record it? Was it like, did you know that you had a song that you thought was really good and you wanted to go, share it to the world? Like, was it? I mean, tell me about that. Like, booking the studio time. That must have been a pretty big step for you.
I was really blessed to have a team kind of form based on like-mindedness, shared values, and the same passion to create music. And everybody had a key ingredient. There was one of my producers that I worked with really closely, John Fellner, who was an engineer and could record us and had a studio, like we used to record in his basement. The other producer that I work with really closely is Ryan Bacalar's bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
We used to record in his basement as well. Alex DiCarlo, who used to manage me, he went to school for engineering, so we really just we all wore different hats in that regard, and we used to just do it ourselves.
Wow. And so you have a record coming out on Wednesday called Alt Therapy, but you have two EPs prior to that, right? You have like session 1 and session 2. And what are those songs that are all going to make up this record? Like, tell me about the first session and then the second session that you've released.
I think we really wanted to introduce Alt Therapy like a story. We wanted to introduce the sessions like seasons, and seasons that I was going through in my life, and to introduce different stories of pain and different stories of triumph, to really let people have time with the records, and give the records time to sort of make their way around before telling a more full story with a little bit more finality, and also leaving some room for some new beginnings as well too.
Mm-hmm. So when you put out like session 1, the Disillusions for the first session, when did that record come out?
Oh wow, that record came out
was it some time ago?
It was some time ago.
Oh, okay.
It came out early. It came out early 2020.
Oh, okay. So it's
Mm-hmm.
within the past year and a half or so.
Mm-hmm.
Like so when that album came out, like where were you at when this whole pandemic hit? Were you starting to get your career off the ground, and then that kind of threw a wrench and everything? Like tell me about that.
It definitely threw us for a whirlwind.
Okay.
We had a lot of plans. We were planning a video for the single that was released from that EP, Need You.
Mm-hmm.
We had a video planned for it. We had a lot of places that we wanted to go, a lot of things that we wanted to do in that time, to network and to really help push this record. But that all really did get to put on hold because of the pandemic. So we're really in a place where we were trusting and working with what we had, and really trusting the team, and just praying that God would see it through.
All right. So session 1 came out Juneteenth 2020. Talk to me about, like, was there a specific reason for releasing it then? And I mean, there must have been. And tell me about the impact of putting that song out, or that record out on that particular day.
I think the music that we make, we really try to offer peace, and we really try to offer a safe space to unravel with the energy, especially the energy within session 1, Disillusion. And during such a turbulent time, we really thought it poignant to put that record out, and also to offer that same gift in a time where we're remembering such a dark time in our history as a world.
Well, I want to rewind real quick for a second to session 1, and that first song that you put out, well, the one that became like this massive hit with "Need You," right? Was that like? Did you tell me about that? I mean, it has like 6 million plays on YouTube, or I mean on Spotify. Like, you put the song out, like, were you expecting anything? Like, tell me, how did it start picking up some sort of steam there?
I like to really lean on my vision that I have for my future, of being able to take my music and really take it around the world. I do want everybody in their mom and grandma to know about the music that we make, and to have had experiences with it. But I really didn't have any expectations, and I felt really in limbo, and I was really really proud to see how many people have had their moment with Need You and continue to have moments with Need You. I'm really proud of that record.
Mm-hmm. Like, when did you start seeing it like start to kind of snowball? Was it pretty quickly, or like, I mean, do you remember, the song goes up on Spotify, does it get like a few thousand plays and then it starts climbing, and then it's like, okay, now I'm at 1 million, now I'm at, 3, 5, 6. I mean, that must have been a pretty cool ride to be on.
Most definitely, it is exciting. I really personally try to stay off the DSPs, looking at the stream numbers. But when people did tell me, it was really exciting to be a part of that climb.
Yeah, definitely. I can't imagine. And at that point, did you have like management at that time or record labels? Like, I mean, I could imagine people are kind of knocking at your door once you start to make that sort of impact.
Yeah, most definitely. It was I was working with Universal Music Canada at the time.
Okay. And now you're with Motown, which is huge.
Yeah, it's such an honor. It's such an honor to be a part of the tapestry, to be Motown is such an iconic label.
Oh yeah.
So many legendary acts coming from Motown. Super honored. I really want to be one of those legendary acts that would be spoken of in that same breath. That would be the fulfillment of the dream that we have.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it definitely legendary label.
Yeah.
I love the artwork that you have for all of your record covers. Like, I mean, they're all similar in the sense of the same art. Is it the same artist? Like, can you tell me about, like, was that the same art? Do you choose the same artist? Like, who does your artwork? Because it's beautiful.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, it is the same artist. His name is Funny Tummy.
Okay.
We thought it would be really poignant and like indicative of the message to honor Black women on the covers of all of the EPs, and to honor the women that have reared me and the women that we wanted to highlight in the album, and a reoccurring story within the narrative of All Therapy that I found to be I sort of found as a pattern in creation.
Mm-hmm. So is that like a local artist? Like, how did you find this artist?
Funny Tummy is an artist that we found on Instagram. I was put on to him by a close friend and collaborator.
Ooh. Yeah, it's cool. It's such a cool uniform art. How it kind of goes through all the different singles that you've released with the different album covers. I'm imagining the All Therapy final record will also share similar art.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. We wanted to definitely wanted to show Black women and how even let me rephrase this. We wanted to show kind of the opposite. We wanted to show how even though they are similar sort of in their nature, that the energy that you can receive from all of those different covers is not monolithic.
Mm-hmm. And you said there's like a concept kind of behind the records. Like you talked about, the first session came out with a certain narrative, and same with the second session. And then is the full record going to be like you're cohesively, like, are all these songs going to be on the album and when it comes out, like session 1 and 2? Mm-hmm. Like, tell me how it's put together as far as, weaving everything into one project. Was that difficult?
I think within the creation of the music, we had a lot of records to choose from, and we kind of picked the ones that made us feel the most, and the story was kind of born from that. That's the kind of I really believe that's the way that we felt out the story. Okay,
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like the record kind of the songs on Disillusion or this first session kind of reflected that, and when it came to releasing it on Juneteenth?
If I'm being completely honest, I think the themes that we released in session 2 speak to that reality
Okay.
a lot more directly. But in terms of just releasing music that people can listen to when they're in their feelings,
Uh-huh.
something that can offer you a safe space to unravel. I do believe those records offer that.
Were the songs that came out on the second session, were those written in that time period between the first release and then when you put out the second one in December?
No, they
Okay.
were all of the records were created prior to that.
Okay. And with session 2, so did you collaborate or clump the songs in session 1 and session 2 together for like a particular reason where you're like, okay, these songs fit together here, and when it comes to session 2, coming out in December with Black Woman?
We put the songs together on the album to really represent themes of growth, seasons of growth, seasons of conflict, seasons of more turbulent seasons. And also I feel like there's turbulence in all of the seasons that we put out and all of the sessions that we put out, but I feel like some of the songs are approached with a little bit more wisdom on my tongue, I believe, in the creation of it.
Sure. And then with this, the full record coming out in a couple of days, was it difficult to kind of streamline everything together into one piece?
No, it really, after listening to the records, it really fell into place. It became really clear the story that I was trying to tell.
And with the album coming out on Wednesday, I mean, you must be pretty excited. It's your first like full piece of work. And what are you most excited about?
It's been a long time. It's been a long time coming. I'm really just excited to get it out. I'm really excited for people to hear the last song on the album. It was a really it was a record that was really fun to make, a really beautiful record to make, beautiful experience.
And what, like in the meantime, like, I mean, I'm sure you've been probably working on new music. It looks like you're in some sort of studio right now. Has it stopped since having the songs ready and to go in early 2020, or are you constantly working on new music?
I'm actually just here for this.
Oh,
but
I love that.
But yeah, I am. I am working on new music. I've always all during the whole pandemic, I've been really trying to take space to be able to find and feel out the next move and to find out where we want to go musically, in close collaboration with Ryan back at Larger Bedroom.
What about live performances? I know Canada's still pretty strict, right, as far as like the pandemic goes. I know here in the United States, they're starting to open it up stuff a bit, and people are booking tours. I mean, is coming here to perform even in the cards, or like how do you see live performance going?
I think Canada is becoming more and more vaccinated, and we just started opening back up slowly as well. We were it was really strict down here for a long while. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting back to doing shows. Hopefully some opportunities show up here domestically, and hopefully a lot more opportunities show up around the world to be able to perform as everything opens back up.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, I know for you guys there too, it's been really, really tough as far as coming across and then being stuck in like quarantine, some government issued quarantine, and then going to your house. And it's just been hopefully that'll everything as far as the world goes opens up here soon enough, and you get to play this record out to the world.
Yeah, most definitely. We're sick of that movie on this side. We wanna live in a different movie.
Totally, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Emanuel, for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it.
Man, thank you so much for having me. It was a
Yeah,
pleasure,
yeah.
man.
I do have one more question before I let you go. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
To never give up, to keep trying, and to remember that your voice matters, and your story matters.